Albertans will go to the polls in a provincial election on April 16th. The campaign was launched yesterday and pits NDP Premier Rachel Notley against United Conservative Party leader Jason Kenney. Likely to be a campaign focused on the economy, but the Conservative leader is also facing some recent controversies. Jen Gerson is a freelance journalist. She joins us from Calgary. Jen Gerson, first of all, thanks for taking time to speak with me. Appreciate it.
No worries, thanks.
We're just 24 hours into the election campaign in Alberta. Have we already got a sense of what the narrative might be for the voters?
Well, I don't know, but already I'm exhausted, I can tell you that. No, I mean, I've kind of said that I think in this campaign, we've got Jason Kenney running against the NDP, and we've got Rachel Notley running against the economy. Obviously, things are not as happy here economically as they were in recent years. And I think there's a lot of sense in Alberta that is the fault of the NDP, rightly or wrongly. So there's a lot of anger and frustration and discontent about the state of affairs under the NDP government. Contrasting that, we have a newly united Conservative Party led by Jason Kenney, who of course has been active in Alberta and in politics for decades now, and is largely a very respected figure. But this has been a party that has been, absolutely surrounded by controversy in the last couple of weeks, especially.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Jason Kenney's facing this controversy over the so-called kamikaze campaign during his leadership bid. You have been writing about this. Let us in on what's the story here. Give us a breakdown of what exactly has happened here.
Well, it's impossible to get into any Alberta controversy without going very deep into some very dark weeds. But essentially, the allegation that has come to light in the last couple of weeks and days is that during Jason Kenney's attempts to win the leadership of the newly merged United Conservative Party, that he solicited the help of a fake candidate or a kamikaze candidate in order to undermine his main rival, Brian Jean. Again, in the last couple of days and weeks, we've received lots of documents that more or less show that the Callaway campaign and the Jason Kenney campaign were in basically collusion. They were sharing data points, communication strategies, even speeches, things like attack videos, graphics, those sorts of things, with the sole purpose of allowing Jason Kenney to kind of stay above the fray in the debates and in the cut and thrust of politics. Jeff Callaway would then be the main guy who would go after Brian Jean and undermine him with more conservative voters within the UCP.
Right. Now, is there any suggestion that there's been anything illegal here?
Well, that's the real underlying question. I mean, running a stalking horse candidate is just kind of dirty pool, but it's not necessarily illegal. Where the question of legality is now coming up is how Jeff Callaway's campaign was funded. One of the pieces I just did in Maclean's basically showed that Jeff Callaway's campaign received a $60,000 donation from a local businessman, and then that donation was essentially funneled back into the Callaway campaign account through fake donors. That is illegal. that contravenes the Financing Act, and right now that is under investigation by the elected commissioner and also by the RCMP.
And I guess I'm not sure when we would get the outcome of those investigations, but I suppose if you're looking at the dynamics of a campaign and what possible damage might be done here. A lot of this, I guess you look to what's happening within Jason Kenney's party itself. I mean, are conservatives starting to question Jason Kenney? And that's where, his bid to become premier might really get kind of hobbled if his own party starts to think he doesn't deserve to be premier.
I think that you shouldn't underestimate conservatives' desire to rid the province of the NDP. I mean, I think that is a real psychic stain for a lot of conservatives, not only in Alberta, but in the rest of the country. That said, this particular scandal has definitely left a cloud over Jason Kenney, even though he can't be directly linked to the money. It certainly has raised questions about whether or not this party has undergone the necessary soul-searching and reform that it needed to do after their major loss to the NDP in the 2015 campaign. I do think that it's going to continue to be an issue for Kenney throughout this campaign.
Okay. So let me ask about Rachel Notley. According to the polls, the odds are stacked against her, or have been stacked against her. What are the odds that she can come back and win in this campaign? And to do that, what does she have to convince the voters of?
I don't ever place bets in Alberta politics because this place is very weird and it's very volatile. And it changes its mind very quickly. there isn't any question that in polling that we've seen in recent months that the UCP have a very commanding lead. However, that lead's been narrowing. Right now, I think the last numbers I've seen shows like maybe a 9-point lead for the UCP. So their lead on the whole is significantly reduced from what it once was. And we haven't seen polling come back since the latest details about the latest allegations the kamikaze candidate have come forward. So, anything can really happen in a campaign, and anything can especially happen in a campaign in Alberta. I think that if Rachel Notley manages to instill enough doubt and fear if Rachel Notley manages to instill quite a lot of fear and doubt about Jason Kenney into the minds of the electorate, and at the same time manages to convince people that Alberta's current economic problems aren't necessarily the fault of the NDP, nor do the Conservatives have a solution for those problems, then she might have a fighting chance. I would never rule Rachel Notley out, and I would never place bets on an outcome in Alberta politics.
Yeah, let's finish on this, because I thought it was kind of interesting to hear. I thought Jason Kenney invoked Justin Trudeau in his campaign against Rachel Notley. Why is he doing that? Since I'm not sure that Rachel Notley thinks Justin Trudeau's a great friend of Alberta these days, but he's portraying the two of them as a team that have sort of teamed up together to hurt Alberta's economic fortunes. What do you think of that strategy?
Absolutely no Alberta leader, whether it be Rachel Notley nor Jason Kenney, is going to lose points by taking shots at Justin Trudeau. Ottawa is not popular around these parts nowadays, and that's been true across the spectrum. Jason Kenney is trying to associate Rachel Notley with Justin Trudeau because he knows that Justin Trudeau isn't popular. Similarly, we'll see Rachel Notley take shots at Justin Trudeau.
All right, just quickly to finish, is this a two-party fight, a two-leader fight, or could other parties play an important role in the outcome? Sorry, two-party fight.
Yeah, at this point, it's a two-party. Nobody else is in the run.
All right, Jen Gerson, thanks for bringing us up to speed on the campaign there, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again during the election, which is April 16th in Alberta. Thanks again.
Thank you.